and welcome to an exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ron, your host, and we are going to close out the sequel to a film I covered 2 movies before a couple years back. I think these were earlier Hit UV reviews, but we're going to close out the 3rd and final installment in the Balto trilogy. Yes, there's a trilogy as of now. I don't think there's going to be any more as of now. So this movie came out all the way in 2004. As we take a look at the third installment, Balto 3, Wings of Change. Yeah, Wings of Change. Now, this one is different than all the other ones. Okay, so let me kind of run down the first 2. I have covered them on the channel, so if you want to see my reviews of them, you can. But I'll run them really short. I love the original Balto. I was one of those kids who saw the original Balto in a movie theater when it came out. Now, on the other hand, this is one of those movies, again, that I feel is just perfect. Balto 2, on the other hand, is a complete mess. Big time. So how does Balto 3 stand up? Well, Balto 2 is basically Balto has a kid. If you want to see the whole review, that's pretty much that. So what do I think of Balto 3? More the same, but this movie's okay. Now, is it better than like the Limp for Time sequels or the direct-to-video American Tales? Yes and no. Let's actually talk about the movie. So, this installment of Balto 3 focus on Balto. So, Balto meets up with an air carrier who delivers airmail. So, right at the beginning of the movie, we get a montage of what this is. So, basically now, it focuses on the 2 main characters from the first movie. So, I forgot to run down the voice cast in this. I'll kind of name a few. I don't remember everybody is in this. So, Maurice LaMarche returns in the voice of Balto from Balto 2. This time we get Sean Astin, Kathy Najimy, Gene Smart, and I think I'm blanking on a few. I actually have a demo tape of this, though. That's another thing. I have a demo tape of this movie, so, yeah. So basically now there's a pilot, he's trying to deliver airmail, and we also have Boris as a love interest with another goose. She's voiced by Gene Smart. Kathy Najimy plays another dog that she sort of meets up with Jenna. Jodie Benson is a Jenna role. In the first movie, it was Bridget Fonda. So that's that character. So notice how I noticed when I did review the sequel, they didn't mention about Jenna as a character in this because it focused more on the father-daughter relationship. Here it's back to Balto and Jenna, which I do like. I thought their personalities. So yeah, we get Jodie Benson. Yes, Ariel herself voices the main dog for the first movie. It's really hard for me to talk about this movie because this isn't all bad. The animation's solid. It's just when you have I don't want to say at fault the writing. The animation's good and it has a good message at the end. So the pilot basically meets up with Balto and he explains to him, hey, you did great delivering all the medicine to the sick victims. And that, if you notice in the first Balto, you know the normal hall medicine shortage. If you know history, then you'll know who Balto is as. And Balto was a real person. The 2 sequels do not follow that route and is not historically accurate, so it seemed like the writers made up these stories to kind of keep the series fresh. Though I didn't really get much. Then there's a scene where there's a big race, and now determine who's going to get to deliver mail. So they get ready for the race, the airman gets ready to fly up there, and basically to drop off the mail. Then for some reason Boris has a relationship with another goose or geese I think it's Goose. Yeah, Goose. Has another relationship with another Goose, a female Goose in this case. That's where Jean Smart comes in, her character. And it's the problem again with these. I don't understand why we needed another sequel, especially a sequel to I don't think should have never been made. And yeah, pretty much that. So that is not really much to say about this movie. Oh, Bill Faberbake or Faberbake, the guy who voiced Patrick Star, he voices another dog. So you got different side characters to each of the dogs. It really doesn't really make any sense of what they're trying to have at it. There is a couple songs. There's a beautiful song that Jody Benson sings, which is great. But that's just few far between of what I think is a very mediocre film. In my opinion, there are some few moments. But did we need dancing? Did we need a dancing goose with a bunch of these geese to start dancing? Did we need a music number? No. Again, I said this before. It's the thing about the Land for Time movies where those direct-to-videos are like musicals. But the problem is, you don't need singing in these direct-to-videos based on the original source. So, I don't know. I don't hate this. I just think it's very mediocre. And you also got Muck and Luck. I'm probably the two polar bears. They're there for the sake of being there. I didn't think they were all that great in the first movie. I think they're just pointless characters. They're just filler. Here, I believe they're worse, and they play leapfrog, and it makes really no sense. Sean Astin plays his son, so instead of the daughter, like in the first movie, we now have a son. And again, it makes really no sense in this. The animation, like I said, is very solid. I may even think the animation is just too good. This is stellar animation. This came out around the time the Invasion of the Dinosaurs came out, which was, I believe, the 11th Land for Time movie. So it has that very CG mixed with hand-drawn animation. It's gorgeous. The scene where the dogs are getting ready to go, you can see the pilot getting ready to fly, and extremely gorgeous. I got chills. But it does end with a good message, and I don't know, guys. I may get comments saying, but I said again, this is just a mediocre film. But it does. I will say this isn't all bad. If you can get over the flaws with this movie, I would probably say I can sort of recommend this. I don't know. It's definitely better than number 2, but I do think number 3, if you really had to watch one between the other, I probably would say skip 2 and just go to 3, or just skip all of them and watch the original. The original Balto is a timeless classic. It's one I've seen in theaters. I grew up with this movie. Well, I grew up with the original Balto. I have the home video poster for it. So you can tell that's why it's good. I may do a re-review on the first Balto just to kind of get myself caught up again. Well, not really caught up. I already covered all 3 of them on the channel. But still, if you can ignore that, I could probably say definitely, I would say watch it once. And if you like it, you might like it. But for me, it's just a very mediocre watch. Not boring, not bad, just average, above average. So, yeah. And again, before I go ahead and go to rating this film, this is not a bad movie. I want to clear that with you guys. Balto 3 is not bad. It's just very mediocre. It just seemed like they're just, I don't know. It seemed like with these direct-to-video Universal cartoons from the original source, from the original film, just kind of get boring. And I'm glad they stopped at 3 because it would have made it into a Land for Time series. And just keep making more and more and more of them until your audience is just going to be bored with it. So that's all I'm going to say. So let's go ahead and rate it. So let's rate it right now. I am going to give Balto 3 Wings of Change a 3 out of 5. And the reason again is that it's just average. This is an above average film. I think, like I said, this is okay. This is definitely a good, okay movie. I'm not going to say this is a good movie. I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. It's just average. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to really, like, say these direct-to-video movies are just masterpieces. Sometimes you can get a masterpiece here and there that's direct-to-video, but for the most part, again, there's not really much about this movie. So, yeah, I guess if you really want to check out Balto 3 Wings of Change, I would probably say check it out, but your mileage may vary. So that's my review of Balto 3 Wings of Change. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all my video notifications, and you can keep up with what I post on there. Also, I'm available on Letterboxd, guys, so if you do want to check me out there, you can as well. So, yeah, if you want to check out my Letterboxd account, if you do want to check it out. So, yeah, and that's it. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.